AJ Styles was injured during his SmackDown return. How much profit AEW is set to make in 2025 has been revealed, and we have future plans for a top tag team in WWE. Stay tuned for all the wrestling news. AJ Styles made his return to SmackDown last night. We haven't seen him on WWE programming since Clash at the Castle. He lost an I Quit match, and then he quite literally disappeared. He quit.
It's in the name of the match, mate. You can't just I quit and then come back next week.
It's
not 1999.
I like the fact that he has, after the I Quit match, he did just disappear from TV. He came out to the ring and he did what everyone expected him to do, an immediate babyface turn.
Of course, and
he turned because purely we missed him.
Yeah.
That's it, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, he said...
It was like a you people, but in a good way.
Exactly. He was like, you people love me, so I'm back. And he said he regrets his actions over the past few months, and he's here to rebuild the legacy of AJ Styles. However, it has appeared that he has suffered an injury during his first match back. We're not quite sure at this point if it's storyline.
Yeah, it seems like it could go either way here. I'm leaning more toward it being storyline, but do you want to break down what happened?
So he took on Carmelo Hayes, who had interrupted him and his return. However, it was sort of stipulated by LA Knight that if Carmelo was able to put away AJ Styles, then he'd maybe get a US Championship match that he's been wanting after this series with Andrade. It was set up, it happened, they get into the match, and AJ goes for the springboard moonsault DDT that we've seen him do for the past 20-odd years,
right?
He can
do it in his sleep.
He can do it in his sleep. Well, it appears maybe not on last night's SmackDown, because when he landed, it looked like he tweaked his left knee. The match continued. He went to the outside and was selling that leg for quite a bit, and the commentary, this is where we're unsure.
Yeah, commentary start kind of, throughout the match, it's repeated mentions, obviously because it's his first night back, but Corey is just laying in really thick on his first night back. It's AJ Styles' first night back. Oh my God, he's hurt his leg on his first night back. And then commentary start going, maybe he sprained his ankle. AJ is limping. He's having a hard time getting into the ring. And it just sort of felt like it was like you were being conditioned.
You were being shown the injury. And this came to sort of a boiling point when he hit a Yushigaroshi on Carmelo Hayes. And when he landed, Styles just crumpled, basically.
Yeah, his knee
leg.
just kind of, all the pressure came down on the knee, and he just sort of like, the knee goes out from underneath him, his ankle rolls inwards.
Yeah.
So it feels odd that they were kind of talking about it.
They were talking about it, and then they showed him injured on the ground, as medical staff were checking on him. Yeah. The match was called off at this point. Carmelo was declared the winner. AJ was helped to the back. He was limping up the ramp, but again, the camera stayed on him. At this point, LA Knight just runs in, attacks Carmelo, and it looks like we're going to get a setup for that US title match at some point soon. But I don't know. I'm leaning towards it being storyline. I don't want it to be an injury at all.
Of course not. But he was also shown backstage, getting medical attention. And later on in the night, they say that he's been taken to a local hospital, or was it medical facility?
They said hospital, as far as I can remember.
Oh my God, the times are changing.
The times are changing.
But I think. Ultimately, hopefully, if this is an injury, then hopefully it is just a sprain. Hopefully, it's something that's going to keep him out for maybe a week or so, 2 weeks. But I don't know. It just felt a little bit too kind of, it's his first night back. Oh no, his ankle.
Maybe they're doing the old grizzled veteran where it's like, has he still got it? We will see in the coming
down. I don't know. We'll see.
We will see. But staying with SmackDown last night, there was, of course, the tag team title match on the line, because premium live events, pay-per-views don't seem to have all the title matches on them anymore. But the Bloodline managed to retain their tag team championships against the Street Profits and DIY in a ladder match. I thought it was a pretty damn good match. Yeah. It was just very funny. Tangaloa climbs up the ladder and pulls down the entire bracket instead of pulling off the titles. He just takes the whole bracket down. He's some boy.
It's only a fraction of his true power.
He's some guy.
I think it's as well, the result, I wasn't really surprised by them retaining.
No.
I mean, come on.
You've got to keep the Bloodline strong, especially considering that tonight the rest of the Bloodline are going up against Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at Bad Blood, and you can join Adam and Andrew at 10 p.m. for their live reactions to that show. Speaking of shows, though, we've got a little update on AEW's library on Max going forward.
So it was reported this week that Max will be hosting AEW's library as part of the deal. Obviously, everybody immediately expecting to be like, right, the second it happens, this is going to go back, and we're going to have all of it there, and we're going to be able to watch it all, and it's there. But no, there is human time involved with all of this. So AEW, according to a report from the Wrestling Observer News, that AEW's video library will not be on Max immediately, despite plans to have the full library on there in the future. The new deal begins in January, and they'll start to migrate content onto the service at that point. And again, I know that people are going, but you're a billionaire, and it's a company worth billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Surely they can just make it work. There's human time involved. You've got to sit there. It's got to go on bit by bit. You can't just dump it all on there at once. You're talking probably at best hundreds of gigabytes of data.
If you think Dynamite has just celebrated 5 years, so there's at least 2-hour shows every single week for 5 years.
It's probably a couple of terabytes now.
I think so.
But I think they're going to be able to then make a big deal out of it. I guess going year by year, starting with the earliest stuff, or maybe they'll start with the most recent stuff and work their way backwards.
Yeah.
But I think that you look back to the network. The network didn't launch. I mean, the network launched terribly. #cancelled.
Oh God, yeah, that was not good.
Oh, I remember that
Good
was one of my first weeks in the job. That I think, but it'll grow over time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They've said it will take. They'll do it over the process of the next year, starting in January. So that's when you'll expect to see it on.
Break the year up into 5s
on Max.
Put very specific dates on it, and if they don't have it all up by the date you specify personally yourself on your calendar, then go off on Tony. Then call them all shills. Be horrible wrestling fans. But until then, just calm down, right?
Damn it.
Just calm down.
Well, staying with AEW and that Warner Brothers Discovery deal, we have a little bit of update from the Wrestling Observer as to how much AEW will make in 2025. This is all estimates based on the current deal that they have received, but it's expected they will make between 61 million and 76 million in 2025 in profit alone, which is an incredible amount of money that I would absolutely like to get my hands on. Because
of course. just give it here. I'll look after it.
Now, of course, this does not factor in any further deals with the rumored deal being with Fox. If that is taking place, that would, of course, increase the profit margins there. Absolutely incredible deal for a company just 5 years old.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. A lot of people look at AEW and they have several times written it off. There's several times it's been the WWE killer. It's still a very young company. They're going up against an established competition who was wrestling for like 20 odd years. So I think that when you are going up against somebody with that market share, yes, there's a massive difference in the profit margins, but you got to think one of them has like a 50, 60-year history.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of a head start on that one. But it's a fantastic deal. And sticking with AEW and some of their TV deals, we do have an update in the same report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter about Shockwave. This is the rumored show that could be on Fox Networks if that deal goes ahead. The report says that it would likely take place on a Thursday or a Tuesday, one of the 2 days, and it will not be continuing in Rampage slot on Fridays, which I think makes perfect sense. Move it away from Friday. It seems to be kind of a dead slot for Rampage. Would make more sense for Thursday for me.
Tuesday and Thursday have historically been wrestling days on the other side of the fence as well, and it seemed to work for a long time. I think midweek lineups could do with a bit of that. And weekend lineups would then be maybe a little bit more free for stuff that might make the network a little bit more money. So it might make more sense that you might get better viewers on a weeknight, and the broadcaster might be able to put something else on that then increases overall revenue, which then you can leverage into a better deal down the road.
Absolutely. Yeah. He knows his money there. But obviously this is not confirmed yet.
Put it all in Bitcoin and Doge.
And Doge, definitely Doge. Obviously this show, Shockwave, has not been fully confirmed yet. It's all just reports at this point. SA Scoops has said that the deal, though, would be exclusive, or the WB deal, I should say, is exclusive rights for cable. So if they do make a deal with elsewhere, it would be on a network channel rather than a cable channel, which does
better.
AEW very well.
Free wrestling.
As well. We do have have to round things off with some future plans for a tag team in WWE. Last night on SmackDown, you may have noticed a coming soon vignette. Speculation immediately began. This was for the Motor City Machine Guns.
I don't know how. Well, there's a car.
There's some vroom vrooms.
There's a load of shots of a city that could be Detroit.
Looks sure like Detroit.
And there's like loads of things happening. I think it's the Detroit Car Go Boys.
It's exactly them.
That's the ones. You think it's Motor City. They're going to NXT. We've been told. This is an all-new team.
Brand new team. But anyway, the reports from last night, this comes from PW Insider, who says that it is indeed the Motor City Machine Guns. It was also kind of confirmed on WWE programming. This comes via the WWE's Brazilian commentators, as during the Styles Carmelo match just went, it's the Motor City Machine Guns.
Coming soon in exactly 7 weeks. In their first match, they're going to beat this team. It's the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, within 4 months, they'll be holding the tag titles.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of give it away. I mean, it's an unfortunate error, but it's pretty cool. They're coming to SmackDown.
Which we'd been told they were going to NXT.
Exactly.
Which we were all kind of salivating over that prospect anyway. But now, I mean, we mentioned this, right? Like NXT seems to be more, there's more osmosis going on between
free flow energy between the two.
Everything's just kind of so. I think
Feng shui.
I think now if you're like, oh, I just want to go wrestle NXT or I want to work with that team, they'll just go, all right, just go down there.
They just do it. You're booked this week.
Give us 2 weeks and we'll sort it out.
The report, as you said, that we believe they were going to NXT, but the report from PW Insider says it looks like they have been moved to the SmackDown roster, and that is where they will end up.
It's got to be SmackDown simply because, well, one, it's the better show anyway. Who watches Raw? Two, the teaser had 2 big grey fists in it. So I was like, yeah, come on, it's surely SmackDown.
Get it.
SmackDown is the fist.
Have them beat the Bloodline. Have
them bring the fist back. We all love a bit of
fisting, Sam, don't we?
They would be the greatest team in the world if they brought the fist back and then jumped off it.
Bring the fist back to SmackDown. But that is all we've got for you just now. We will, of course, be back later on today with more wrestling news. And tonight is Bad Blood. I mentioned it earlier, but you can join Andrew and Adam at 10 p.m. tonight on YouTube for live reactions to Bad Blood. We'll, of course, have WTF. We'll have What Happened At. We'll have more wrestling news because the fun in wrestling never stops, Sam, does it?
And we never sleep.
No. Catch you later.